Welcome, my tarot friends, in yet another episode in our Under the Magnifying Glass series where we are looking at the Herbcrafter's tarot. And today we are looking at number 7 in this deck. As usual, we are firstly going to look at each of the minor suit cards. I'm going to tell you what I discovered when I journeyed into each of them. And then after, we're going to look at the two major arcana cards that correspond to number 7. But before we do that, let's firstly look at number 7 in tarot in general. Number 7 represents spiritual awareness, introspection, and victory. 7s are about doing the right thing. With 7s, you'll find your dharma, which is your spiritual purpose, through deep understanding of who you are. 7 has you looking at your karma and brings the opportunity to conquer your perceived limitations, thus coming out victorious. This is why we connect it to victory, because I know a lot of people associate number 6 with victory, specifically 6 of wands. But 7 is actually a lucky number 7. It is also a number of perfection and manifestation. For example, we have 7 days of the week, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 chakras, 7 sacred planets, 7 musical notes in one octave. Every 7 years, our body regenerates itself. 7 is made of 2 numbers, 3 and 4. 4 represents a square, a physical self, and the 3 represents triangle, which is a soul self. And they are in constant struggle to blend and to balance. 7 calls you to live your spiritual life, which is a triangle, on this physical plane, which is a square. 7 offers big rewards as long as you confront, face, and conquer the challenges and tests presented to you. 7 is associated with the initiation. It awakens the Kundalini, which is life force, to ascend to the highest level of love and light. You face the challenges with an open heart and clear mind in 7s. 7 challenges your values, courage, and strength. And if we look at the guidebook in the Herbcrafter's tarot, it says the number 7 represents initiation and deeper journey. 7s feature ancient, visionary trees. These trees contribute to the ecosystem and can be perceived as grandmothers and nurse plants for other organisms. They need great care and attention to be sustainably grown and harvested. There's a big importance on sustainability in this deck, and specifically number 7. They have been used by humans since antiquity as tree medicines, so this is why they are gateways to mastery. We plant them to live far beyond our lifetimes. We grow them for our children, for our grandchildren, etc. So for the generations to come. In the final mini-drama, which is 7, 8 and 9, the Herbcrafter begins a deeper study and looks towards the future. She, he or they are being initiated into a specific field of herbcraft. In 7s, the Herbcrafter becomes curious about the ancient mysteries of the botanical world. She, he or they look towards their ancestors as they seek a visionary experience. So they seek guidance from the ancestors to point them towards a journey of introspection that then leads them to a higher calling. The Herbcrafter is rooted in the soul, searching for the stars in the 7s. I really like how the authors always end up the introduction in the number in this guidebook with this beautiful sentence, like very poetic, magical sentence every single time. Okay, and let's dive into 7 of Air first. My observations about this card were: I firstly noticed the distillation is taking place here, and that to me speaks about distilling your thoughts, asking yourself which thoughts serve me and which thoughts don't serve me. What should I take? Which information should I take? And which thoughts or information should I just disregard? Then I also noticed the book on the table here, which to me represents checking my facts, checking the procedures before I act. The eucalyptus in my country is used a lot in saunas, and for a reason, as it clears out the lungs and purifies them. It is easier to breathe after, so the meaning I'm getting from this is to purify your thinking, get rid of what information doesn't help you, get to your highest potential. We can also notice essential oils on the table. The essential oils are pure, sustainably created oils that are expensive but also very valuable, and which to me in this context feels like a note to make sure you take the purest, clearest information in and double check what you're mentally consuming. Is it sustainable and pure, or is it fake and harvested unsustainably, basically harmful to you and the environment. Because on the market, if you are into essential oils, which I am, you can get a lot of cheap essential oils, and you need to ask yourself, how were those oils made or harvested? How did they harvest the plants or grow the plants? I also noticed this pressure meter here, and perhaps the meaning of this meter here could be that under pressure, our truest self comes through. And then we have a white table here. Perhaps clear and pure intentions are needed here. And I was thinking, how would you know that it's 7 of air? And of course, eucalyptus, I connect to breathing easily, so of course that's air. And then how do you know it is 7? If you count this little beads here on this, I don't actually know what this is, but it has 7 little things on it. And now if you look at the guidebook, it says, the first 3 points say, trust the reason, do not be swayed by popular opinion, respond with integrity. It continues that information is key to understanding. Trust reason and discern facts from feelings. When your assumptions are challenged, learn more before taking an action. And I love that. Like, every time that we get challenged into something, we shouldn't be stubborn. We shouldn't be like, no, this is what I think. You should learn more. You should expand your knowledge. Eucalyptus teaches us that what comes easy usually comes with a hidden cost. And that's exactly what I was getting from this picture as well. Not only are hundreds of pounds of plant material needed to make 1 ounce, which is approximately 30-ish milliliters of oil, when the eucalyptus plant is planted, native species are also pushed out, devastating local ecosystem. So essential oils provide quick relief but are resource-intensive medicine. I love this next sentence here. It is often said that the greatest enemy of learning is not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. This is something I think that everybody should put in their vocabulary, this whole sentence, because it is so important. So distill information to the essence of clarity, like I said, clarity with a white tablecloth here. Act ethically whether or not anyone knows. Just as eucalyptus clears the lungs, you will breathe easily again. Truth will give you direction. Amazing. Oh my gosh. And then for crafting, I chose learn to make hydrosols at home. Be patient with the process. I love that they advise patience here as well, as giving up too quickly doesn't get us anywhere, which is another meaning of 7 of air generally. And now if we move to 7 of fire. So my observations first. The first thing I notice is obviously the fire in the darkness, which to me speak about keeping a strong will and personal power even in the darkest times. And obviously it is a fire suit because of the fire here. On the table we see some spiritual objects, rosary and this type of sunstone, which creates a connection to the spirit. Also, the sunstone relates to the sun, who is a ruler, or which is a ruler of a Leo, which is associated with 7 of Wands. So 7 of Wands is about personal power and perseverance. Cinnamon is a very strong spice. Like cinnamon, we should be also strong, spicy, and bold in our expressions. We can see this book here as well, which says here curanderismo, which means healing arts, and we also see a picture of an ancestor on top of this book. So this speaks to me of a connection to our ancestors, to our ancestors' knowledge about healing. And perhaps it allows us to deep into realm and giving insight into the ancestors' wisdom and teachings, and then applying them into our lives, recognizing our ancestors within us, which gives us a profound and proud feeling of who we are and where we come from. And then of course I notice lime, it stands out here quite a bit. So I know that lime is a very strong flavor, but combined with cinnamon in a tea, it makes a harmonious flavor. So knowing how to use things that are given to us in life and make the best out of it is the message that I get from this. And then if we look in the guidebook now, the 3 points are: answer the call of the ancients, seek vision from ancestors, take a stand for your whole authentic self. And that's exactly what I was getting from it. That our authentic selves comes obviously from boldness of these plants and medicines, but also through a connection to our ancestors, of where we come from, of who we are. And then it continues in the guidebook: ancestral traditions remind us of who we are. Your personal power has roots in your own cultural heritage. Cinnamon found its way around the world via the Silk Road so too should you allow yourself to be taken on a journey by your ancestors. How beautiful is that? That's amazing. Study your history, take your ancestors' medicine, eat their food, so connect to your ancestors like this, and this will deepen your connection to them. Collect images, stories, make altars and offerings, take pride in where you come from, stand up for who you are. Trust that your foremothers will give you direction. Cinnamon is strong and spicy remedy. Be assertive and bold in the expression of your true self. How amazing. And I literally got very, very similar messages from just looking at this picture here. Now if you look at the Seven of Water. So what I noticed here is that the whole painting makes me feel of yin and yang symbols and energy, because we have this light and dark cups, and also on the birch trees, if you know the birch trees, they have black parts on the white, or way around, we don't really know, but it's both there. So that again reminds me of this yin-yang energy. So there is dark inside of light and light inside of the dark, and one can't exist without the other. We see glasses and jars that indicates the water suit here, and if we count them, there's 7 of them, so we know there is 7 of water. If we look at the cups and glasses here, we notice that they are not just made from different materials, but they look different as well, and that indicates to me of having different options available here, because we have a jar with our drink, which is birch water, but we have many options of which cup or glass we are going to take to drink that water. And it feels like we are searching for guidance as we see ogham staves scattered on a blue table. And I also noticed there's a lot of blue color here. And again, I associate colors with chakras, and blue is associated with the throat chakra. So that to me would mean speaking what you feel and think and want clearly and truthfully. There's again a book here, just like on the previous 2 cards. And it says on it, if you zoom in and check, it says folklore of trees. So that tells me that this person is learning about the past, or going into it in order to proceed in this moment in time, to proceed with whatever they want to do. The sun is shining through. We can see a lot of sunlight. So beautifully done here, the light that comes through glass. I think it's absolutely marvelously done here. The sun is shining through, but there are parts of the landscape that the sun touches and parts that it doesn't touch. So which again to me triggers a connection to the light in darkness and vice versa. The whole scene screams going within or exploring divination to me because of these things here as well. And of course, because of the light and the colors. So the message might be, you have many options available on how to explore what the truth is hiding within you. Choose one, but make sure you do it and not get distracted by the process of how you are getting there. So that was the message that I got from this. And then if you look in the guidebook, we have the 3 points which go, imagine the possibilities, choose one option out of many. See, open your hearts to wisdom from soul, toast to a fresh start. So the water here, it explains that it's a birch water, and birch water helps body to get rid of toxins. So going within and dealing with toxic emotions, thoughts that don't serve us anymore, perhaps, this could be a metaphor for it. Folklore, symbolism and myth nourish the soul. When you hear a call to explore your depths, you may have several paths to pursue. Look out for a common root in your many desires and clear out unhealthy illusions. Use divination, there we go, divination, to consider the path you will take next. To do so, tap into the wisdom of your heart to divine the message. Your soul will give you direction. And then for crafting, I chose 2 points. Use birch water to detoxify and cleanse, both for your health and in your magical practice. And then write your desire on a fallen bark and set it down the river. I find this very magical and nice. And then if you look into our last minor arcana card, which is 7 of Earth here. So when I looked into the card, the first thing that I obviously noticed was this majestic old tree. It looks very old and very big. It feels like it has been there for such a long time and saw so many things through time. So maybe this applies to me to seek advice from ancestral spirits, or ancestors. We notice a basket here, which is of course a suit of earth, and it is full of acorns. So harvesting what has grown so far, but also basket relates to generations before us and generations after us. So it's again that travel between the past and the future, between different worlds, We notice again a book here. And again, this to me speaks about learning and applying new skills, broadening one's horizons, reflecting what one has done so far, and assessing what worked and what didn't work, and then learning and applying new skills to that. What stands out for me as well is these orange leaves that have a bit of red in them as well. And I associate these colors to chakras, and orange is associated with sacral chakra, which is then associated to being creative, expressive, to continue in your creation and work and manifestations. And there's also a little bit of red, mixed in it. So the red talks about root chakra and staying grounded, reasonable and tactical in your approach. And then if we return to the acorns, they remind me actually of the ace of earth. So the ace of earth is the seed that you plant, and it has the potential for something huge to manifest. So it has a potential for the whole suit. So in here, we are planting these acorns for also generations to come, right? We can see that the sun is shining again in this picture, and that creates an optimistic feel to the picture. The leaves are falling on the floor, and they could represent things that need to go, to make space for what is needed at the time. It could also mean fertilization, because what is not needed anymore, what we cut down, technically fertilizes our potential for new things to come, right? For new things to grow. I know that oak wood, so I know that this wood is very durable and strong, and it stays strong through years and years and years. And that could mean to keep strong in the process of creation, in the process we are in the moment. And if you look at the guidebook now, it says, live by the rhythms of the earth, work slowly and steadily towards your goal, and plan for generations to come. Literally what I got as well from this picture. It then continues that knowing nature is the key to knowing thyself. Your legacy is intertwined with moss and trees. Oak grows slowly, so that to me again speak about taking your time and be patient in your pursuit. Like the oak, you have worked hard and gathered your rewards. When it is time to build your future, listen to the call of the earth. So that perhaps means connecting to a spirit and natural cycles. Oak only grows 1 foot per year, so trust your vision to manifest in its own time. I love this so much. She basically said the same thing as I did, but in way better way. In more poetic and amazing way. Oaks are durable and hearty. Have faith in your work. The fruits of your labor will last beyond your lifetime. So that's the thing when I was talking about the generations to come. We can see this beautifully portrayed in the acorns. Look to the pace of nature for guidance. The seasons will give you directions. And I think this is super important as well, because often we are doing things either too quickly or taking too much time with them. And I feel nature can be such a good guide in the pace of making things or creating things. And now if we look at the crafting, make an acorn necklace to remind you to slow down and live in alignment with the seasons. Study the ethnobotany of the land where you live. So these were the minor arcana cards. Now I'm gonna add the major arcana cards here so we can connect them together. So we have 2 cards here. We have the Chariot and the Tower, so Cedar and Mushroom. And I placed these cards under these 2 cards for a reason, because if you look at the colors, the Chariot cards match the 7 of Water with color-wise, and the Tower matches 7 of Fire, and it also matches 7 of Earth, I'd say. So that is very interesting. 7 of Earth might match the Tower better than 7 of Fire. Anyways, so let's look at what these cards were telling me when I looked at them and how they relate to number 7, right? Because 7 is obviously the Chariot, and 16, 1 plus 6 is 7, so that creates the Tower. The Chariot, they put cedar branches together so they look like a tree with branches up and with the roots. So this creates the feeling of as above, so below, right? And I feel as above, so below applies beautifully to all these 7s. And I like the fact that they chose a tree here, because all the 7s here represent the trees as well. We see the seeds that remind me of actually 7 of Earth because of the acorn seeds. So planting seeds for generations to come. If we look at the mandala itself, it is looking at the stars and with it the manifestation of the things that are possible, right? So that applies beautifully to the Seven of Water. All the possibilities, all the stars, everything that is possible that we can manifest and bring into this 4D reality, because we do have the spiritual part, which is the stars, right, which is the triangle, and we have the square part, which is our physical. The stars also remind me of staying connected to the spiritual and our ancestors, like all the sevens talked about. Cedar roots are flexible, so finding their way through the forest. That talks about staying flexible yet opportunistic. Cedar is used in spiritual practices, again, connection to spirit and the triangle and number 3. And for canoes, which is physical, right? So that is number 4 and a square. And so we have 3 plus 4 is 7. Which connects to number 7 perfectly. And it talks about traveling between the worlds of heaven and earth. And that's what I was talking about this one as well, how it allows us to travel between the different worlds with a basket. And then if we look at the Tower card here, we can see that we have a dead tree that fell, and now out of it, new life is growing, the mushrooms. It's new life. So something died away, and from it, new life has sprouted. And that reminds me again of 7 of Earth, new life sprouting because of the acorns. Tower brings profound change and brings rewards after you face your challenges and tests presented. And 7 is related to initiation, which we can see beautifully in the Tower card. A start of something new when that brings more love and light into our lives. Mushrooms spark foundational healing, which reminds me again of 7 of Water. Mushrooms also build the immune system, so allow yourself to build strength through resilience, which takes us back to 7 of Fire, which is all about resilience and staying strong, etc. So this one can be easily placed on any of the cards, really. So yes, with this, I will say goodbye for now. What do you think about these cards? Did you learn something new? Did you notice something that I haven't noticed? If you have, please write in the comments below. All of your thoughts are very appreciated and I love reading them. And I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, or whatever the time is where you are right now. And I will see you again soon. Bye bye.